Namaste everyone. Welcome to Advaita Vedanta Satsang House. Today we are continuing on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4. It's the culminating verse, the last verse, which Binduji has been meticulously offering from an Advaita perspective. So the replays of the previous rooms are available. If you want to access them in Clubhouse, you can go to the house and access them. Alternatively, there are links shared in the chat. One is a YouTube channel called Advaita Retold, where they are well cataloged. There are also two other links where the talks are archived. One is an Apple podcast and the other one is Spotify. For a reading material, there is a book written by Artemisia titled Imaginary Door, which is all based on Binduji's insights into Advaita. So I'll close the chat and hand raising when Binduji is offering the class for an hour or so, after which we'll open up the channels for Q&A or discussions. As always, thank you, Binduji. Over to you.
Thank you, Prakash. Namaste and Hari Om to all of you. My invocations. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamshirishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loga Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashikritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murtibeda Vivagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. The Gita Dhyana Shloka. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Tunvandi Divyai Stavai Vedai Sangapadakamo Panishadai Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Nabidussura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Yesterday we were discussing on the location where the samshaya, the doubt or the ignorance is located, hridayastham. It is in the antakarana. And it is in the same antakarana where the Atma's recognition also should naturally arise. So it is an inner problem seated at the very core of the antakarana, at the center where the aparoksha anubhava should naturally arise, but is being blocked by the ajnana in the form of samshaya, ajnana samshaya vipadya. This interiority of samshaya demands an interior problem, solution. And that can be done only through jnana, jnanasina atmanaha. That is the atmajnana as a sword should be used for eliminating these doubts. No external remedy can solve this issue. Shankaracharya refers to the Mundakopanishad mantra. Vidyade hridaya grandhi chidhyande sarva samshayaha khriyande chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. Vidyade hridaya grandhi. The knot of the heart is broken or pierced. Chidhyande sarva samshayaha. All samshayas, all doubts, sarva samshaya. Chidhyande means they are uprooted or cut. Khriyande cha asya karmani. and his karmas are dissolved when these two take place. That is, when the knot of the heart is broken and the doubts are cut. His karmas are dissolved. Tasmin drishte paravare. Paravare means is indicating both far and near. Tasmin drishte, when that which is both far and near in that vision is taken place. So this Hridaya Grandhi of the knot of the heart is precisely the samshaya located in the heart, which is the Mundaka Upanishad mantra is also talking about. So Tasmin Drishte, when that is seen, is exactly the sword of Jnana Atmanaha, the Jnana Asina Atmana, which is mentioned in this verse. Therefore, these two, the mantra of Mundaka Upanishad and this sloka of Bhagavad Gita, are structurally identical description of the same inner liberation. Yesterday we discussed that the knowledge or the Atma, which is a Jnana Swarupa, or in the form of knowledge itself, or consciousness or awareness, when it is presiding, when it is there as always, there is never a time when Atma is not present. And in that is the case, how can the ignorance and the knowledge coexist? The example which was given was the candle and the shadow at the bottom of the candle. Now, if we look at our own experience, ignorance is also known. We all say, I don't know. What is I don't know when we make a statement is when we hear about something, we are saying we do not know about that name or whatever may have been indicated by the word. So there are two aspects to it. We know the existence of such a thing when we hear a name. Otherwise the name will not exist, indicating, asking, do you know something? So that something is existing out of for which you are being questioned. We accept that there is a existence aspect for the something. But at the same time, that knowledge also has an ignorance aspect of it. I don't know what is that something. So you can see that in our own empirical or vyavaharika transactional life, we have partial knowledge and partial ignorance. We can never know anything in its totality. All knowledge, what we are calling the so-called knowledge, is partial. Partial in the sense, we know some aspects of something, but we have not full knowledge about that object. To have a full knowledge of any object, we have to be that object. To be what it is the full knowledge. So if I say that I know Bindu, when I'm saying that, I am saying what people call me as Bindu, I know that personality or that individual or the experience of that person which is being referred as Bindu. But apart from that, there is a knowledge which is exclusively experienced or known by me, which others cannot know. That aspect is being myself. I may not know what is that self, but I know what to be like I am. The description of that amness may not be known to me, but I cannot refute that I do not know myself. This aspect of both knowledge and ignorance is always together. The only time when we do not have that, the two of them togetherness, is when we know what we are, or what is my truth, or what is myself, or what is Atman. But when I know that, even the Chandogya Upanishad says that in the deep sleep, we all become ourself, the truth, as Sat, existence. Sadi Sambadhya, na viduhu sadi sambadhyamahe. Having become the existence awareness in the deep sleep, na viduhu, there is an ignorance that we have become our true nature of existence and awareness in the deep sleep. Therefore, in the heart, both ignorance and the knowledge of Atman, of the self-awareness, to be present together is not impossible. But when will that become not clouded with ignorance? This is what the Kathopanishad Mandara said. Guranu said, the self-effulgence or the Atma decides to shine by itself. The Antarjyoti or the inner nature of Atma. When it is deciding to shine means when it has destroyed even the ignorance which is there. Therefore, the word Jnana Sina Atmana. In this verse, Krishna is using the word. Asi means sword. Jnana Sina means Atmanaha. It is the instrumental or using by means of a sword that is Jnana of Atman. Atmanaha means of Atman. So the Jnana which is the compound is Jnana C is a Karmadharya compound. Jnana which is a sword or the sword that is Jnana. That Jnana is of what? It is not the knowledge, ordinary knowledge of external things or anything other than that. Anything which is there. About anything other than Atmanaha, when the word is used, about Atma or the knowledge as Atman also. So that the two things are that. The Jnana is also Atma. The Jnana is also like a sword. Therefore, the sword is nothing but the Atman itself in the form of knowledge. Because we know Sat, Chit, Ananda, the three aspects, or the Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam aspect of Brahman. Here we are talking about the Jnana aspect of it. That is the only thing which can work against ignorance. Neither existence, Sat, nor the Ananda is opposed to ignorance. Only Jnana is opposed to ignorance. Therefore, the Jnana aspect of Atma is the one which is now becoming the sword for removing the samshaya, which is the form of ignorance. We have heard the other examples of Jnana being used, Jnana Plava or Jnana Agni, and this is the third aspect of Jnanasi. So the raft, the fire, and here it is used as a cutting blade or a sword. Each of this metaphor captures a aspect of Jnana's action. Jnana acts differently. The raft example, crossing over using a raft, is a passive supporting and carrying aspect of Jnana. But when it is said as is a fire which burns, it is not passive, but it's active. It is not supporting, but it is consuming. And it doesn't carry that information. It is transforming the ignorance, the knowledge. And this, the Jnanasi, the blade or the sword, cuts very decisively. It cuts into two pieces without any reminder left. It is precise, instantaneous, and surgical. So this metaphor is chosen here in the final verse because the action required from Arjuna's point of view or from our point of view has to be with a surgical precision. It cannot be a gradual crossing using a raft or a burning of fire type of a thing, but a precise, single, decisive cut, because the word is used in the next line as chitva, having cut, using this blade of knowledge, the samshaya from its root. And it also will make sense to Arjuna because he is very familiar with the instrument of sword as a warrior. And when it is addressed as Bharata by Arjuna, to Arjuna in the context of Kurukshetra, the choice resonates with Arjuna. As a warrior being told that his inner battle, which he should be fighting now, which is the ignorance which is holding him from fighting the battle due to his doubt whether he is doing dharma or whether he is incur papa. That is the doubt which is there in his antakarana. And that requires a courageous warrior to make a decisive choice. Therefore, the sword has been depicted as the Atman Jnana itself. Atmanaha of Atman is the meaning of it, pertaining to Atman. So specifying which jnana is the sword, not jnana in general, nor the Shastra knowledge, but specifically the Atma Jnana. And how does the Atma Jnana? Is it not like Shastra knowledge or the knowledge about any other things? No. Atma Jnana is the direct recognition of Atman as Brahman. The Aparoksha Anubhava, that the Pratyagatma, my Swarupa, as Satchitananda, that cognition, and when it is recognized, no doubt can remain there. This qualification is the final instrument which Shankaracharya is using against the karma samuchayavadins. Those who say karma and jnana can go together. Because the sword of samshaya, when it is cut, it is not cutting the karma, not the tapas, not the yajna. It is specifically the Atma Jnana, the Tattva Jnana of Atman's own nature as Akarta Avyaya Purna, Brahma Swarupa. That is what is the sword which is being used. And only Atma Jnana can remove the samshaya, cut the samshaya of what? Of about Atman itself. The samshaya is about Atman. When Atman is not known, we become karta. Then we become, we have to do the karmas. And the karmas bring dharma, adharma. All those fall out of the anatma as what we think ourselves. Is the ajnana. What we call it as the dhyasa. So only that knowledge that the Tattvadarshi Guru, when explains, the direct seeing, that is the Aparoksha Anubhava of what? That Aham Brahmasmi, or I am the Atman. In that, when I know I am the Atman, I am not knowing Atman as something existing which is indescribable, akarta, avyayam, apurnam, etc. as an object, and I am knowing that as a subject, and that is an object. It is not that way. That recognition, the Atma which is being referred, Prajnanam Brahma, or I am Atma Brahma. That knowledge that I am that consciousness or the knowledge or the jnana, I am the jnana swarupa. That is what dissolves the ajnana, that is generated by the samshaya. So therefore the Atma Jnana becomes the blade for decisive destruction, precise surgical strike onto the doubts. What is my true Swarupa? Krishna says, Chittva, having cut the doubts by that. It is a prerequisite. Only when the samshaya is cut, the jnana which was known through Shastra and the Guru Mukha from the teacher is the instrument about Atma. And when that cuts the samshaya, the ignorance is removed. That is the time when the aparoksha anubhava or the self-effulgence of the Atma becomes a recognition. So the teacher's words or the tattva upadesha or from the shastras, they are being used by the listener, Shrota, for his Shravana. And when that after the Shravana, when he does enough manana for it, that is the time when he is honing the blade or making the blade sharpen. And the nididhyasana is the chittva, is the cutting. A decisive surgical strike of eradication of the doubt, ajnana, samshaya, viparya, all the three. And then when that is cut, the arising, uttishta, the nature of the one's own Atma Swarupa, that my nature, which was not known to me due to my adhyasa and the ignorance, is not something which gets created in me. I become aware of my own nature. Right now, if you ask me what is my nature, I don't know. I know my adhyasa, that think I am the body, mind, and intellect, and I am moving around in this body as a waker. But that knowledge of mine is in the ignorance, not knowing who I am. I think I am the karta, doing all the actions. I am the one who is listening, shrota, manta. I am the one who is doing manana. The shrota, manta, all those things. Brihadaranya deals it in detail. When we study that, we'll understand. So when that aspect of I am the listener, I am the one who is menting upon or meditating upon, all those thoughts as a doer or action is broken. Vidyate hriday granthi. That is the time when all samshayas are gone. I don't know, I don't have doubt that I am seeing my body, I am knowing my mind, I am knowing my intellect, I am knowing my thoughts, I know my emotions, feelings. Everything is known. I am the knower of all those things. So all the doubts about myself, I am separate from Tebyo Vilakshana Sakshi. I am the witness, not associated with the waking, not associated with the dream, not associated with the deep sleep, or not even the one who is going through the waking, dream and deep sleep. But I am the witness to that. These things seems to be having appearances. Independent is not really independent. It is in the consciousness of the Sakshi or the witness, which is consciousness nature. The waker came up, the dreamer came up, the deep sleeper came up, everything. All that remained all the time was the consciousness. So, when we do the surgical strike of associating with the waking, the dreaming, the deep sleeping, that is the chittva. Then when we isolate ourselves, shift our association from the body, mind, intellect who goes through the waking dream and deep sleep to the consciousness, awareness in which everything is happening. That is the arising. For a fully qualified adhikari, Shraddhavan Tatparaha Samyadendriyaha, who has received the Guru's instruction, this act of cutting, Chitwa, and the Uttishta, arising, happens simultaneously. It is not two separate actions. Even though the usage of language is having cut arises is the way. So cutting takes place first and arising happens second. No. The removing of the cover on the lamp and the light coming out are not two separate incidents. Both happens simultaneously. The illumining of the room and the removing of the block or the light emission, they are not two separate actions but simultaneous actions. The recognition of Atma by cutting the doubt and the establishment in yoga arising in action occur as a single integrated moment, which is called the Pratyagatma Aparokshanubhava. This is the crystallizing nature of Karma Yoga. Why? Because Krishna says, Yoga Mastita, Yoga Mastishta. Be established in yoga. This is the connection between Karma Yoga and Jnana. Be established or take your stand or station yourself firmly in yoga. Established in yoga means it is the complete Karma Yoga which this chapter has been defining from the beginning. Brahma Karma Samadhi or Yoga Sanyasta Karma or Jnana Avastita Chetasa. All those things are the act of Karma Yoga. So the sustained, stable abidance in Atma Jnana while engaged in action. So the Karma Yoga is engaging in action with abidance in Atma or that knowledge in Atma, that I am the Atma. The action which is being done is not by the Atma. Tebhyo Vilakshana Sakshi. Or that is the Yogam Astishta. Establish yourself in the yoga of acting from the Atma Jnana with the doubt that you are not Atma, Anatma, that is cut. So you become an Atmavan. So that it is the final, what you call the realization or recognition or coming home for us. All these actions, what we are doing right now, whether eating, sleeping, walking, doing our routine job, household jobs and everything, all these are being done by us thinking that we are the individual, the jiva, or the embodied human being. But when the Shastra said, Tadattvamasi, you are that. And when we became aware that the body is an object known to me, Tasya Kartaram Abhima. So, when Krishna said, Tasya kartaram apimam vidhi akartaram avyayam. So all those chaturvarna srishta karmas which we are all doing by the four gunas, three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. The karta is the action done by these gunas. Guna karma vibhagasha. But asya akartaram avyayam mam. That is the knowledge which is required. That knowledge, when it is become firm in us, you become yoga mastishta. That is the yoga, what is being told. The yoga is two-pronged. One end of the yoga is to abide in the Atman. The other end of the yoga is to engage in our day-to-day activities. You cannot divorce one from another and act. Because the acting in the empirical world, as a human being, with whatever problems and responsibilities we are having, is all being done because we are Atma. So, how is that? Because Krishna said that. Asya kartaram abhimam vidya akartaram avyayam. All these actions, the doing is happening because of me. But know me as the Atma which is non-doer, non-enjoyer of these actions. Because the actions are the nature of Prakriti. When this knowledge is established, becomes a reality to us, we abide in Atman and engage in our actions. That is the Karma Yoga or Yoga Mastishta. The yoga here is not a practice to be begun, but it is a state to be inhabited. The recognition that the Atman is Akarta Avyaya and that all actions occur, definitely occur, within the Brahman's non-dual field. That is when the Brahmagno Brahmanahutam. That is the time when you will really understand the meaning of Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi, Brahmagno Brahmanahutam. Brahmaiva tena gandavyam Brahma karma samadhina. There is nothing outside Brahman. So when Krishna said, I am the doer of all these things, but know me as the non-doer, non-enjoyer. It is exactly what we have to know ourselves as. Am I the waker alone? No. Am I the dreamer alone? No. Am I the deep sleeper alone? No. Am I all the three alone? No, because I know them. The waking, the dream and the deep sleep is in my knowledge. I know myself as a waker. So when I know myself as a waker, can I be the waker or I am the knower of the waker? I become the knower of the waker. Same way I know that I was a dreamer. So I cannot be the dreamer and the knower of the dreamer. Yes, while dreaming, I was not knowing that I was a dreamer. Just as when I am waken, I am not knowing I am a waker until the Shruti or the Guru told me that you are not the waker. I started thinking about it. And when I started thinking about it, I am able to de-identify from the wakership to the knower of the waker. And when this happens, that is when the recognition that I am the Atman as Akarta and Avyaya. And when I know that I am the Atman, Akarta, Avyaya, all the actions or all that is happening is in consciousness or awareness. That is Brahman. That Anantam, infinite, in which all finite things are included, is in my consciousness. So my consciousness or my nature of consciousness or my Swarupa of consciousness cannot be the finite things which are individually existing in it. That nature of my consciousness or I as the conscious awareness has to be infinite. There is no other choice. Unless I am infinite, I cannot hold the finite things in it. I'm just not an inert space which is holding all the finite things. I know their existence. I am aware of their existence. So it is not the existing material objects or events or space and time in the infinity which I am talking about. It is the awareness which is aware of the space, which is aware of the time, which is aware of the infinity, nature in which all finitude is included. Which includes me as a waker, as a dreamer, as a deep sleeper, also in that experiential thing. I am beyond the waker, dreamer and deep sleep. So when I am seeing myself in that infinitude of my nature, consciousness as my Swabhava, that is the time when I am Yogamasthit. And in that, all actions which are happening are the Prakriti which is non-separate from Brahman. What is Prakriti? It is nothing but an appearance of Brahman itself. Vivarta. We call it by different names, that all for transactional purpose. And when we call it by different names, we give them independent reality. The names are transactional requirement. They are not existential realities. The names are incidental for the empirical transaction. But the reality is that the consciousness in which the existence of that name, the form, or the object is suspended or appearing. So when this is understood, I am the Atman, I should not have any doubt whether what is dharma, what is adharma, what is karma, akarma, vikarma, all those things which we studied in detail till now. Therefore, Krishna says to Arjuna, Uttishta O Bharata, please wake up, get up. So when Arjuna has understood this, he has no doubt anymore sitting that he was paralyzed by the moha and samshaya, whether he should kill his teachers, etc. So this Uttishta at Bharata is the most physically immediate word in the verse, the most literally applicable for Arjuna's actual situation. Vishidandam, he was the word used in the first word, in the first verse of second chapter, because he threw up his arms and bow and sat down in the chariot. Visrajya saram chapam. That is Arjuna, who was paralyzed by the moha and samshaya. Now after having heard this, and when Krishna is saying Uttishta Bharata, he should be standing up to fight. And this is the most possible direct command given by Krishna to Arjuna. With the Yogamashista and Uttishta, the Bharata word is used with a purpose, is to give Arjuna the feeling that you are in the line of the same Rajarshis from Vivaswan onward, the first creation onwards, who were there. Sahayishta Prajasishta Purovacha Prajapati. When the Creator created, he created along with this act of sacrifice. And that is the sacrifice which is being now used as the yoga here. And when it was declined in between, Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati, whenever it has happened, Sambhavami Yuge Yuge, happen again. He is giving rise to the avatara to remind Arjuna, that is the reason why I have come now, to educate you, so that the broken tradition is being revived through you as the progenitor of both Pandava and Kaurava lineage. So Arjuna's complete identity, not just his individual person, but in this place, in the cosmic history, his role as a custodian of the lineage, whose job is to protect Dharma Samsthapanartha, is the reason why Krishna has taken the avatara for the purpose of re-establishing Dharma. The Bharata lineage is the Dharma of bearing, sustaining and upholding. And Arjuna is being called to that Dharma through the recognition of the Brahma Karma Samadhi. So in the stage 1, it was the recognition of Jnanasina Atmanaha Chitva Samshayam, by having eradicated the doubts. So Aparokshanibhava Atman as this. And then he is stabilizing himself as Yoga Siddha, as established in the yoga. And then he has to now get back into action. Then only the Karma Yoga becomes complete. The Karma Yoga is not a Karma Yoga unless abiding in Atman and engaging in action. Therefore, Uttishta, again, getting up for fighting the war. In the 4.1, now let us run through the chapter completely. 4.1, Aham Proktavan, I declared this yoga to Vivaswan, etc. is what the verse started in the 4th chapter, first verse. And the last verse is Yoga Masista, in the established in the yoga. It is the completion from what he declared in the beginning is exactly what I have declared to you till now in this chapter. Therefore, wake up, get up, O Arjuna, is the full picture of the entire 4th chapter. Why? Because in the second verse he said, Kalena, Sakalena Yoga Nashta. This yoga was lost in the period, in the passage of time. To restore that, Arjuna, you have to get up and start doing this. This war, because if you don't fight this war, this Nashta yoga or the law yoga which was lost will not be re-established, because your opponents are people who are in the yoga brashta, in those who are adhering to the wrong yoga. In the 4.7, he said that, Krishna said that, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. So that is to indicate this, to show him that this glani has happened, or this, the loss of this yoga, dharmasya glani, has happened. To restore dharma through action. Therefore, wake up, get up, Arjuna. But when he said that about this action, he had to say about karma, akarma and vikarma. And then he said, Kavyopi atra mohita. Even the wise were confused about what is the karma for maintaining the dharma, and where the karma will not include the sin, karma lepa. So only by cutting the samshaya in the mind about the karma, the moha can be completely resolved. And once you do that, Krishna guarantees na punarmoham jayati. There is no chance of you going back to the delusion again, because that is the nature of knowledge. Chittva samshayam moha. Having cut the samshaya, it cannot join back. Therefore, moha cannot come back again. And if you do not do that, you will be a samshayatma. You will be always under the clutches of ignorance. And what happens to a samshayatma? Sa vinashyati. He carries his doubt in his mind to his grave, and he has no redemption for it. Therefore, it is mandatory that you have to cut your samshaya at the root. And that is what is told in the Yoga Sannyasta Karma, Jnana Satchinna Samshayaha, Atmavan, Chittva Yogamasista Uttishta Bharata. So the chapter that began with the cosmic history ends with the personal comment to Arjuna. The cosmic teaching arrives at its full, intimate, urgent and individual conclusion. The Jagat Guru, the Nitya Guru, Parameshwara, Krishna himself as his avatara, has transmitted this Avyaya Yoga, which was referred in the first verse itself, to Arjuna, who told that Shishyasteham Shadimam Prapannam, I am your disciple, please save me. So this advice through the complete prakarana of the 4th chapter gives the final imperative to cut, establish and arise. So that what are established things established? Atma is akarta and the action does not touch it. Karma born of jnana does not bind. Karma born of jnana does not bind, which was given in 22nd and 41 verses. Jnana agni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute, 37 verse, which is that accumulated karma is burnt into ash when you have the knowledge. The samshayatma vinashyati. If you are a doubting Thomas, you will be doomed. Therefore, it is mandatory to cut the samshaya. You have to eradicate all the doubts. And that is the yoga or the yajna which dissolves in the knowledge of the Brahman or Atmajnana. Therefore, arise, O Arjuna, Uttishta Bharata. The Bhashya is exactly what we have been discussing. Tasmat papishtam ajnana sambhudam ajnanat avivekat jnatam hrittam hriti buddhostitam jnanasina shokamohadi doshaharam samyak darshanam jnanam tadeva asti khadga tena jnanasina atmanaha swasya atma vishayatvat samshayasya. Therefore, Bharata dynasty of second of Bharata dynasty Arjuna, Uttishta, take course. Yogam, the performance of these actions with the knowledge, full knowledge of illumination of Atma. Therefore, Uttishta, wake up. Chitva jnana sina, having cut or with the sword of knowledge, which is the destroyer of such effects of sorrow, etc., delusion. Yenam samshayam atmanaha, this doubt about Atma or your own nature, that is the one's own reason for you doubted yourself. That is your own ruin and most sinful. Hritsam, in the heart residing in the intellect, antakarana. Ajnana sambhudam, born out of the ignorance on the non-discrimination of the nature of yourself. The Atma is known, you had a doubt on yourself. The word Atmanaha is used because the doubt concerned about oneself. Indeed, another's doubt cannot be removed by someone else. Hence the word Atmanaha is used. So, although the doubt in this regard is to the self, it is really one's own. Therefore, Uttishta cha idani yuddhaya bharata iti. Therefore, wake up and fight the war, Arjuna. Iti Srimad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Sri Govinda Padacharya Shishyasya Srimad Shankara Bhagavad Pada Kritau Srimad Bhagavad Gita Bhashye Chaturtho Adhyaya. To put it in a simple one paragraph or one sentence, all actions, worship, discipline and yoga have value only insofar as they purify the mind and culminate in the right knowledge about oneself. For bondage is not due to action itself, but due to the ignorance and the doership. And therefore, liberation comes only through the knowledge that the self is actionless, non-doer, it is non-dual and ever free. When this knowledge is understood as our own Swarupa, actions will not bind us, nor will it taint us. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Dhanyawad.
Thank you very much, Binduji. I've opened the chat and hand raising. I think Karen is coming up. Karen.
Namaste, Binduji. I just wanted to say I missed you, so I'm back.
Thank you so much.
I did follow the class online, so I didn't miss anything. But I missed you too much.
Yeah, we too missed you because we were not having you to come and ask questions in our doubts or in between talk and give your version and your own insights.
Thank you. Much appreciated. I haven't been much active though, but thank you.
Thank you, Karan. So, today is the last day. We will reconvene after I settle down in Australia, and the timing will be morning 6:30. So, Europe may not be very convenient for attending that. So, Karin, we will meet after August when I come back to India again.
Oh.
Good that you made it today. Okay.
Yes, I'm happy. A dose of Binduji.
Namaste, Revati.
Pranam Binduji. Namaste to all.
Pranam. Namaste.
Thank you, Binduji, for all these sessions, beautiful sessions, Binduji. Thank you. My question is Binduji. Again, Atma Maya is Ishvara and Maya. Is it Atma Maya?
Atma Maya is Ishvara's Maya. Ishvara is not Adhina to Maya. The Maya is the Shakti of Ishvara for the purpose of explaining the empirical or the Vyavahara. In reality, there is nothing from Ishvara and Maya. They're one and the same.
Yes.
Because Maya is not separate from Isha. When Brahman decides, or Brahman, so kamayata bahusyam prajayeti. We might have heard in the Upanishad. Let me so. And even in the Aitariya Upanishad, sa aikshata bahusyam prajayeti. All those places is that it is Atman and is Swabhava to see itself as many. Right?
Yeah.
And when Atman sees saying many, some in that forgets, I am Atman, seeing myself separately. So the separatedness is the reason for what is called the Jiva level avidya or adhyasa. But at the Brahman's level, that cannot be said that it is a avidya because jnana swarupa. Jnana is the nature of Atma. But when it decides to become many or feel as many, it is not really becoming many. It is experiencing itself as many. In that experiencing as many, he has full control over it. But at the individual experiencing levels, there is a chance of forgetting that individuality is not, individuality at all. It is a ignorance which is making us feel that we are individuals. So Atma Maya is not other. That my own Maya is the word, the meaning which we have to take there. Not Atma as Maya.
Yes, Bindaji.
Ask.
Yes, Bindaji. No, I thought because when Atman, you said the shloka he wanted to see as many. The same view is here in the Avatara when he want to. Yes, the same. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Revati. Namaste, Srini.
Namaste, Bindaji. Just wanted to say a big thank you for a beautiful fourth chapter and wish you happy journey and hope you have a good, enjoyable break, Bindaji. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Thank you, Srini. In fact, I'll be missing the classes.
Yeah, I can understand.
It's a different enjoyment there, but at the same time, nothing like being in this subject all the time. Asupte amritam kalam vedandana chaityam kuryat. That is that. I want to live in this, breathe in this, sleep in this, all the time.
Yes. No, that's a good practice you are teaching us also. So we are also slowly becoming like this, Bindaji. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Srini. Okay, then, Prakash, can we wind up?
Sure, Binduji, or do you want to hold the stage because this is your last day? I mean, we can hold the stage for a few
There's
minutes.
nothing
Somebody will come
to
up.
hold. For 1 hour I have been holding.
Yes. Okay, so if nobody is coming up to wish Binduji safe travels, at least put it in the chat. And as always, heartfelt thanks to Binduji for holding this space for so long and allowing us to deeply experience what you have mastered. This is a very precious journey. So I'm sure everybody is very thankful to you, Binduji, and wishing you safe travels from my side. And, just thanking everyone for having participated and kept the momentum going where we are in chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita. I think Rajesh is up. Over to you, Rajesh.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you, Binduji. I just came up to show my gratitude to you for your service you've done here. Hope to see you again. Wish you a safe journey. Okay.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karin. Thank you, Karin, for your DP to change. And thank you, Jesse, for see you soon. We all will meet again as early as possible. 3 months will pass on within no time. We'll see again very soon. Hari Om. Good night.
Hari Om.